All right, this is what 2025 is going to look like for Westt 09. Let's go.
Yeah.
So we're planning to have a big year for Westt 09, 2025. It is just before New Year's. We're going to do a planning session. You guys can see everything that we're going to plan for next year. Big things to look forward to. All right, so first of all, we're going to start with some goals. Westt 09. Goals for 2025. Excuse my handwriting, it is terrible. Westt 09 goals for 2025. So I normally believe that if you keep goals simple and attainable, realistic, doesn't have to be like realistic. Obviously you want things that you have to stretch for or push for, things that you want, goals that are going to be hard, but not super impossible, not super unrealistic. So Westt 09, and I like to keep it simple. There'll be lots of little ones along the way, but I'd only do maybe 2 or 3 main goals. So number one, I want to grow our socials to 20K following. So number one, grow our socials to 20K following. That would be across our 2 main platforms, which is TikTok and Instagram. Obviously we got YouTube and threads and things like that, but I'd say our main channel at the moment would be Instagram and TikTok. So 20K following, that's our target for the year. So you hear a lot of people in business talk about, you might have a good product or a good service, but if no one knows about you, then no one's going to buy from you. I believe that we make good clothes. It's just that we need to get our brand awareness out there, and social media is a good tool to help that. So I'm going to do my best to grow our socials. I'm going to make another video on that, maybe a shorter video about our specific plan or strategy going into 2025. What we're going to do, I'm going to push myself to commit to more content. I tried to do a bunch this year, but our socials did grow, but I feel like they can grow better, more efficiently. So I'm going to commit to a content plan, but that's for another video. So yeah, number one, grow our socials to 20K following. Number 2, our goal is to do 10 to 12 collections. So on average, that'll be about 1 a month. 10 to 12, I feel like is a good target. If I think it needs to be less or more, I don't know if it would be less, but if I think it needs to be more, then I will up it. It might not be in 2025, but say 2026, if we think, look, 2025 we hit 12, we did well, but let's up it to 15 a year or whatever it might be. These goals can change and possibly will change along the way. For now, it's 10 to 12. Now, I do think if you're doing once a month, say for us, we're a small business, we've been in clothing for about a year now. If you're doing 1 a month, then still keep the quality of your clothing, but I reckon the aim would be still stick to once a month, but slowly grow each collection. So at the moment, our last drop for the Westt by the Westt collection, we did 3 tees. So then, slowly as you go, it might be like 3 tees, a pair of shorts and a hat, or 3 tees, 2 hats and shorts, or 3 tees, a jacket and a pair of pants. So slowly growing each collection, still doing once a month, but slowly growing the amount of garments you're putting out. That's our vision anyway, that's our thought pattern. And number 3, 2 major, oh my Lord, almost about major with a G. Collabs. So our 3rd goal, and like I said, we only want to do 2 to 3 just to keep it simple. These are our big goals. We'll have lots of other little goals along the way. Our 3rd goal is 2 major collabs. So collaborations, we already have 1 locked in for winter. 1 is locked in. 2. 1 is locked in, 2nd one yet to come. So those are our 3 main goals for this year, but it's all good and well to have goals, but you need a plan to execute your goals. So let's make a plan. Okay, I just had a look at the camera, guys. Sorry if it's a little bit glary, but this is the best angle in the office for filming, so apologies if it's not the best, but I'll try write maybe a bit thicker or a bit darker. Still yet to get a dustpan. Still yet to get a whiteboard eraser. So if anyone wants to, at the moment we're using tissues. If anyone would like to sponsor me, what's the brand here? Stadler? I don't know how to say it. If you want to sponsor us, I would love a eraser. Not that we don't have the $3.50 to get one. We're just lazy to go to the shop. Let's break down each goal. So number one is grow our socials. How are we going to grow our socials? With consistency. So socials, collections, like I said, please ignore my handwriting. This is the beautiful handwriting that comes on your handwritten note cards. Socials, collections, and collabs. It's actually super hard to write on a whiteboard. So, how are we going to grow our socials to 20K following? And number one, I would say the main point, and what I've seen other brands, or not other brands, but just even people, personal brands, influencers, whatever it is, the main thing I see in correlation to all of them is when their socials are growing or have grown. Socials, number one point or plan, perspective that we want to attack is consistency. I feel like consistency is a pretty simple idea. I'd say it's how most goals work. If you're consistent, you're eventually going to get there. I've detailed and I've written down and I've planned an actual content strategy. So what I'm going to implement coming into the new year to really try boost our socials, get us out there, get our brand awareness. But for number one, consistency. Number two, quality. So yes, we do want to be posting often, but we also want it to be good content. I believe that's going to help grow our socials. And number three, value. And no, these aren't in any particular order. So consistency isn't any more important than quality or value, but for our socials to grow, these are the three things that I'm going to focus on. So being consistent, posting quality, and providing value. I believe that providing value is the best way to keep your attention. Once people have had eyeballs on your brand, if they're scrolling down their socials and they see your brand, why would they stop on your brand? Or, you know, your clothing brand, your business, your whatever it is, your service or product has to provide value. So obviously with our clothing, we want our clothing to be good products, but then along the way, we also want to be providing as much value as we can. So most of the time, our videos aim to be either educational, funny, or relatable, or all three, if possible. I expand on those three things because that is my personal brand, or my personality through the brand. You might watch our things to learn stuff, you might watch us our content to be entertained, or you might just watch our content because you enjoy watching it. Might not be a specific reason, but that is the three things that we're going to do, expand on for socials. Posting consistently, posting quality, and providing value. Goal number one. All right, so collections. I already feel like this red is easier to see. 10 to 12 collections for the year is our aim, so pretty much once a month. Now, how do we do that? So, number one is designing. Designing is a broad topic, but we would aim to be designing frequently. So Westt 09 is not full-time just yet. At the moment, I design about once a week, Monday, Tuesday, whatever it is. I'll try to block out 4 hours for just designing. If we're gonna stay on top of 10 to 12 collections, so once a month for the whole year, might sound like a lot, might sound like a little. There's a lot of times where I'll design a collection. I might spend 2 weeks on it. So I might spend one Monday, 4 hours, next Monday, another 4 hours. And I might get to the end of that 8 hours, so 2 days I've spent in 2 different weeks designing just one collection. And then right at the end of it, I might go, don't like it anymore. Sometimes I might get a collection right straight away. Sometimes I might ditch it and it might take me ages to get it right. So a bit more time on designing will allow for the collections to flow. Well, that is the plan. Number two, ship by sea. Now, this is a little bit more detailed, but I just thought I'd chuck it in there. It can help explain it. So just quickly, with collections, oh sorry, not with collections, but with our bulk orders, there's mainly 3 shipping ways. So you can do it by express, by air, or by sea. Express is the quickest. It's normally about 5 to 7 working days. By ear is I think 10 to 12 working days, and by sea is about 20 to 30 working days. It's 4 to 6 weeks, I think, if my maths is right. So if we can get a little bit ahead and start shipping by sea, then that will help our collections flow a lot easier. The only thing about shipping by sea is you have to be planned quite far ahead. So say if it takes 4 to 6 weeks, so just say 8 weeks, 2 months, that's just for your bulk order to get here. So you still got to do your sampling before that, still got to do obviously your designing and all that. So if we stay on top of number one, which is the designing, and we have lots of fresh designs ready to go. Number two, we can ship by sea, therefore making the 10 to 12 for the year realistic or doable, whatever you want to call it. And number three might seem simple, but it will be a big one for goal 2, which is 10 to 12 collections for the year. Number 3 is organized. That kind of ties in with number 2 and number 1. And it's a bit more broad, but we need to be super organized, being planned out, being thorough, making sure our garments, our products are quality, and as we expand, making sure that things only get better. So for goal number 2, being organized is a huge one. That's goal number 2 done. 3 points for our second goal. Collabs. So first collab, which we won't announce yet, but it's aimed for winter 2025, so in about 5 or 6 months. I think the second part of the collabs goal is reach. So reach also ties into our socials. So if we are growing as a brand, obviously on socials, the more people we reach, the more people that are interested in our brand, the more traction we can hold, the more leverage we have when we say reach out to people or brands. And we go, hey look, we're a clothing brand, we're called Westt. These are the things we stand for, these are the values we hold, these are our company core values, whatever it might be. Would you be interested in collabing on a collection with us? Do we align with what you are about? Obviously, we'd only reach out if they aligned with what we're about. The more reach we have, the easier it'll be to leverage a collaboration with someone or a brand. We reach out to people even in the early days. If you reach out to 10 people and you get 1 yes, then you might be thinking, how do I get more yeses? Ask more people. So if you ask 100 people, then you might get 10 yeses. Just a game of numbers. The bigger we are, the more leverage we have, the easier it will be to collab with people that we want to, or brands, whatever it is. Now, 3 is a little bit different. Quality brand. If we want someone or something or whoever it is to collab with us, we want to be perceived as a quality brand. So that would be how we're seen, how we interact with our community, mostly products that we provide, the value we provide. That almost ties in with all of our goals. So the quality of our brand, why do they want to collab with us? That one is a bit more of a not long term, but it's something that you'll build over time. But in terms of collaborations, the third point that I think would be important is that we are perceived as a quality brand. So that's about it so far. Obviously, in my own time, I'll go into a little bit more detail of how we're going to do each stage. But for the broader aspect, that is what 2025 looks like for Westt in terms of goals. Anyways, that brings our video to an end. Just want to quickly say, everyone that's subscribed to our channel or watching this, if you've made it all the way to the end, bravo. If you're not, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave us a comment, let us know what you want to see. Just watching, liking, comment, shares, subscribes, everything honestly really does matter. So thank you so much. If you're rocking with us at the start, you're going to love it even more at the end. So I appreciate you. Let's go.
Picture me rolling in my 500 Benz. I got no love for these niggas.